Hey and welcome to the Daily Arsenal News Show. Let's begin with our daily news. Arsenal winger Reiss Nelson could be out for 2 months due to injury. CBS Sports journalist James Bench has revealed that Arsenal winger Reiss Nelson has suffered an injury that could keep him out of action for 2 months. Reports revealed at the end of last month that Mikel Arteta had decided to keep hold of the young Englishman and give him opportunities in the first team. Sadly, he may not be able to play for a while now. Nelson spent last season on loan at Dutch club Feyenoord. He has impressed since the turn of the year and even scored for Arsenal in pre-season. Even though the 22-year-old is out of contract next summer, Arteta reportedly wanted to keep hold of him. With the Europa League back at the Emirates, Nelson would have got chances to play, but the youngster has now been dealt a frustrating blow. Benj revealed on Twitter yesterday that Nelson has suffered an injury that could keep him out for the next 2 months. That means he's unlikely to return to action before October, which is a huge blow for him. Reiss Nelson facing a couple of months on the sidelines with a quad injury, I'm told, a frustrating blow for the winger at a pivotal moment in his Arsenal career, the journalist tweeted. Nelson posted an Instagram story of himself yesterday with a message to Arsenal fans. Back soon, he wrote. This injury couldn't have come at a worse time for Nelson. The Englishman's chances of a move away are now as good as dead. He will have to stay at Arsenal, but 2 months out of action will open the door for someone like Marquinhos to pip him in the pecking order. To add to that, with the World Cup set to take place in November and December, we may get to the January transfer window before Nelson even gets a sniff to the first team football. Arsenal may well decide to sell him, then to avoid losing him for nothing next summer, which would be a shame as the Englishman really is a special talent. Arsenal now tell Barcelona they can sign their 27-year-old player. Arsenal have told Barcelona that they can sign defender Hector Bellerin, according to Mundo Deportivo. The report suggests that Real Betis were on track to sign the 27-year-old, but they need to find additional funds in order to register several new signings. This has led Arsenal to offer Bellerin to Barcelona, who still want to part with the player this summer. Bellerin has been in discussions with Arsenal about terminating his contract. However, the report from Mundo Deportivo suggests Bellerin is less keen to do this now, in case Betis are unable to register him this season. This has left the Spanish defender in a precarious position, with his time at Arsenal almost certainly up, but no guarantees over whether he can join any of his preferred clubs. A move back to Barcelona would represent a return to Bellerin's first professional club. The Gunners poached a 16-year-old Bellerin from their notorious La Masia academy, and he's since gone on to make 183 Premier League appearances. Bellerin spent last season on loan at Real Betis, helping Real Betis to their first major trophy win in 17 years, defeating Valencia in the Copa del Rey final. Arsenal now have plenty of options at right back, including Takehiro Tomiyasu. Cedric Soares and Ben White is capable of filling in as a fullback if needed. Tomiyasu has already been told he may not start as many games for Arsenal as he did last season, as they look to manage his injury problems, but even this isn't enough to convince Arteta to keep Bellerin around. The 4-time capped Spanish international only has a year left on his current deal, and although Arsenal seem unlikely to get a fee for Bellerin this summer, a material parting is the best course of action at this point. Manchester City could consider late move for Kieran Tierney. Manchester City could consider a late move for Arsenal left-back Kieran Tierney as Pep Guardiola looks to bolster her ranks in that area of the field, according to a report from The Telegraph. City are looking to sign at least one left-back before the deadline passes. The Telegraph reports that incoming signing Sergio Gomez could potentially leave on loan, and with that, Guardiola may target another option in that position. Of course, the champions missed out on signing Marco Curella earlier in the window. Renan Lodi is a target, as is Rafael Guerreiro. Meanwhile, they have also shown interest in Borna Sosa. Reports have more recently suggested that he may end up at either West Ham or Newcastle, but perhaps they could target a dramatic move for one of Mikel Arteta's players. According to a report from The Telegraph, Tierney could be someone who comes onto their radar as the deadline looms. The Gunners, of course, have signed two Manchester City players this summer, and the departure of one of those, Alexander Zinchenko, has left the citizens looking for another left-back, so perhaps City could target a deal to bring the Scotland international in the opposite direction. Tierney has not always had the easiest time since moving to the Emirates for £25 million. Unfortunately, he has enjoyed so little luck when it comes to injuries. Nevertheless, it's hard to see Arsenal having any interest in a sale unless City makes a remarkable offer. He is a leader amongst the Arsenal squad. It would be a disappointing step for the Gunners to sell him. They have done so many good things in this window, but selling Tierney would be a backwards step. It's interesting, however, that The Telegraph has now mentioned him as a potential target for City. Former Arsenal captain compares Saliba to Man United legend. William Gallas has claimed that Arsenal youngster William Saliba is of the same ilk as former Manchester United legend Rio Ferdinand. The 21-year-old has soaked up the plaudits since making a huge impression on his Gunners debut against the Crystal Palace on Friday night, helping us onto a 2-0 victory. Former Arsenal captain Gallas was also impressed, likening his debut performance to former England international Ferdinand. Saliba is a really good player, Gallas is quoted by the Metro as stating, "When I look at him, he reminds me of a player I used to play against, and the player is Rio Ferdinand. If you look at how Saliba plays and how Rio did when he was young, they have the same style. I didn't say he will have the same career, but I hope he does. He just has a similar style to Ferdinand. I think Saliba will surprise a lot of people. He's still so young and has much to prove. He will get even better." That is a huge praise from Gallas, but Saliba should not let all the praise get to his head too much. It's one thing to grow in confidence, but the hard work is not over. Youri Tielemans is fed up of waiting as Arsenal still haven't made a move to sign him. Football journalist Dina Jones has claimed that Youri Tielemans is fed up of waiting for a bid to come in amid rumours linking him with a move to Arsenal. The Gunners have been heavily linked with a move to sign the Belgian midfielder for a month now. He was reported to be Mikel Arteta's priority transfer target, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Despite all the links, Arsenal haven't tabled an official bid to sign Tielemans yet. The Belgian has entered the final year of his contract, and it's looking increasingly likely that he will stay at the King Power Stadium beyond the end of the window. That has apparently annoyed Tielemans, who is tired of waiting for an interested club like Arsenal to bid for him. Speaking on Give Me Sport, Jones said, "I think Tielemans has got a bit fed up of waiting for this. It's been a long time. We have been talking about him going to Arsenal or Manchester United, but the situation is still the same and nobody has actually knocked on the door with an offer. We know that Arsenal have a genuine interest and they have got all of the background work done on him. They have even got their proposed terms set up for if they were to go ahead with this one. If Tielemans really is annoyed, we don't blame him. The Belgian was expected by many to be among the first players to be on the move this summer. He is an incredible midfielder and he really would improve almost every team in the country. However, in what really is a shock, Tielemans hasn't had any offers on the table that we know of. He has every right to be disappointed, but there is still a few weeks left in the window and anything's possible. Arsenal definitely are interested, but whether that will transform into a bid in the coming weeks remains to be seen. Arsenal really keen to sign Moussa Diaby from Bayer Leverkusen. According to Bat Football Club, Arsenal want to sign Bayer Leverkusen and France winger Moussa Diaby before the transfer window shuts. The Gunners are looking for a new wide player. Rafinha was high on their wish list and Mikel Arteta tried really hard to bring him in. The Brazilian, however, joined Barcelona for £55 million instead, and Arsenal have now apparently turned their attention to Diaby. Diaby is one of the finest players in the Bundesliga. The 23-year-old France international scored 17 goals and provided 14 assists in all competitions, which is a truly sensational return for a wide player. His performances have caught the eye of a number of clubs, including Arteta's Arsenal. The report claims that Diaby strongly appeals to the Gunners' boss, who's really keen to bring in a new winger before the window shuts. The astonishing winger has come out and claimed that he wants to stay at Leverkusen this season, while the German outfit are keen to retain his services too. However, the report claimed that if an offer in the region of £60 million arrives, they will let him go. Arsenal don't intend to pay that figure, but the report claims they will try to negotiate a deal for a lower fee. Diaby still has 3 years left on his contract at Leverkusen. Diaby really is a sensational player, 31 goal involvements in a single campaign for a 23-year-old wide player is a truly sensational return. Even Gabriel Jesus, who is viewed as the answer to Arsenal's goal-scoring woes, didn't score as many goals as the Frenchman last season. Arsenal's backup winger at the moment is Nicolas Pepe. The Ivorian on his day is unplayable, but sadly for Arsenal supporters, those days have rarely ever occurred over the last 3 years. Diaby would be a massive upgrade over Pepe, but whether Arsenal can lure him in remains to be seen. Journalist says Arsenal may be lining up a truly amazing signing. Arsenal have been heavily linked with Villarreal's Yermi Pino in recent days. El Periodico Mediterráneo recently claimed that the Gunners are the club most interested in the 19-year-old. Meanwhile, as reported that Villarreal would be likely to accept any bid in the region of 40 to 50 million euros, and Marca suggested that Arsenal and Liverpool were leading the race for Pino. The Gunners have enjoyed a fruitful transfer window this summer, bringing in 5 new players. However, a senior winger continues to elude Arsenal, who failed with an attempt to sign Rafinha. The Gunners were also linked with the likes of Raheem Sterling, Serge Gnabry and Moussa Diaby. Now, with just a few weeks remaining of the transfer window, Arsenal may have set their sights on one of Spain's top talents. According to CBS reporter Ben Jacobs, the Pino to Arsenal speculation has some serious substance. Speaking on the Don Deal show, Jacobs said, Arsenal fans have been talking about mystery wingers all summer, and Yermi Pino is fantastic by the way, a really good player. I think this one is one to watch. First of all, he has a release clause. If Arsenal do business below that clause, they will have pulled off a fantastic signing. The release clause is over £65 million, and the feeling is that Arsenal's interest is in the mid-30s, so it would be a fantastic bit of business and ambitious as well. I've seen reports that Arsenal will have an offer accepted. They believe in Spain that a bid of a half of his release clause could be acceptable because Villarreal need money. From what I understand, this does genuinely have a bit more substance to it. I made an inquiry to the player's agent 24 hours ago to find out if there was a desire to move, and I got quite a coy response. It may come down to whether a young 19-year-old think it's the right time to make move to Arsenal with a big take over him. I would classify this one as one to watch. It could well move quickly, and it does have something to it based on talking sources close to the player, coupled with the fact that Villarreal need to find money from somewhere. I will be uploading daily Arsenal news, so keep your eyes on the channel and don't forget to like and subscribe. I appreciate your support. Peace out.